Hello everybody, my name is Khatleesi, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. If you're new to the series, I do have a playlist dedicated to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles over on my channel, as well as several more series at the moment, including Metroid Dread and Stardew Valley. More series are to come, so if you do enjoy the content, your like and subscription are greatly appreciated. Now, let's get back into the episode. So, last time we left off with the introduction of one more character who we saw briefly at the beginning of the game. 22nd of November, 1:14 p.m., Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. So, I believe she'll be coming up with some new information or evidence about what happened. Let's hope it's in our favor. Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why this sudden ingress into my courtroom? Ha! A judicial assistant, and a woman no less. Very sexist. The rules state that females are not permitted into this court of law other than to testify. Yes, I fully understand. I ask only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense. Ha! You're too late, little girl. This trial has already been concluded. 5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more. But, Your Excellency, I am most grateful. So, who exactly are you? I'm sorry, there's no time. Please simply accept this for now. What is it? A report about something? Written in English? It's Josiah Brett's research. The Englishwoman's? After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in medical faculty and borrowed this paper. Oh, yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case? I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself. Oh, no, of course not. Special characteristics of curare and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Curare? What's that? I've never heard that word before. Time's up. The prosecution demands immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom. There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I've summarized what I could on the note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it. This is wonderful, thank you. Josiah's report has been entered into the court record. A report detailing an unknown poison that Miss Brett has been researching during her time at Yume University. Goodbye then, and good luck. I think I see where this is going. You have had long enough, counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. I ask the prosecution and the defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but... The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency. Ryunosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance. Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett? Yes, Your Excellency. If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer. It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea time. I'll have to politely decline. Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I realized it was phrased as a question. However, I must ask you to treat that as an order. I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense. My apologies, dear lady. So, counsel. What is this new evidence that demands the court's attention? Alright. Examine. A poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. The hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Effects: instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. Route of entry. The above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Practical applications. Due to its ability to render a human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have application as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of the full body paralysis must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. Yes! Present it. Miss Josiah Brett, we understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at UMA University, doing research. Research, by sheer coincidence perhaps, into a deadly poison. What? Poison? Where are you going with this, Counsel? A toxin known as Curair, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death. Objection! What? What complete and utter nonsense? Curair, you say? I've never even heard of it. You wouldn't have done. What do you mean? I mean that you wouldn't have heard of Curair before for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist? Correct. Which means, no matter what tests the police can do for toxins, they'd never identify Curair. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison. What? Order, order, order! Counsel, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to this report, authored by the visiting research student from England, Curair has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists. To lace their arrows? The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle. And it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with Curair suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett? She is stiff. Trumpery. These aspersions are utter trumpery. To start with, if the victim had been administered some of this so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other diners would have surely noticed. That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector? Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around. What do you mean, the other way around? The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress. Oh? Whoops! Looks like I always run out of battery power in my remote as we're playing this game. I'm sorry. I got some batteries right here just for this occasion. Okay, perfect. Is evidence that Curair was used. Explain yourself, Counsel. The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible! Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he collapsed on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. Respiration? In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move. That's hideous. To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly cure poison. That's insane. And you're suggesting that this bottle, Council, actually contains this terrifying poison?
Objection!
This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing? What a happy tale for the defense. Ahem, if I may. All these facts. You think you're so clever, but you must... I love how she tells them off all the time. It is you must be taught. Of course. Dear lady! So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it? What? You steal another's honest hard work and then announce the results as if you discovered them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act. Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual. Whatever do you mean? Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime. That really is a loathsome act, wouldn't you agree?
Objection!
Enough of this. I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules. What's so funny? Oh, excuse me, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett? May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please? Well, yes, I don't see, why not? So she can smash it on the ground. Oh, she's gonna take a sip of it, right? Yeah, but she could have just slipped the poison into that one glass that the professor drank. Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys. Sorry. To an Englishwoman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics. It's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers. Wait, what are you doing? No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair. Goodness. Whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned. So, no cure. The bottle was clean. Is that what you're saying? Hahaha. You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in the grand venue. Most kind. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett. I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries. Ah, yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you have given. So is that it? This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So, how did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it. Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London. There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have kneeled over dead. Come on, Ryunosuke, we have all the clues now. That bottle of water. I mean, I'll say contains poison. I don't see why I would say it doesn't contain poison. The culprit did procure poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. You're serious? Fool, are you blind? There's no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw Miss Brett drinking the water from it. That's right, which rather complicates your argument, I think. And I believe that complication can be explained. How, exactly? Well, I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the court records somewhere. It has to be. Very well. If the defense truly intends to assert this claim, then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. And I only get 3 tries. What explains how the witness was able to consume the supposedly poisoned water unscathed? Goodness, I really don't want to lose my my chances here. But I'm going to go ahead and show off this photograph containing the glass. It seems the defense, or should I say, the wretched accused, is the only real source of complication in this case. You'll have to think harder than that, defendant. I'm gonna lose this. Sorry, Your Excellency. I'll try to find some better supporting evidence. You're making this complication more complicated than it needs to be. Alright, I'll do my best to find an answer that fits the facts. If the defense, the wretched accused, truly intends to assert this claim, then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. What explains how the witness was able to consume the supposedly poisoned water unscathed? Carbonated water the victim and Miss Brett shared on the day of the murder. It was on the victim's table. Route of entry. The above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters by through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Route of entry? So maybe I should show this off, because I assume that that would mean that the poison would have entered his body through the wound on his hand, perhaps, right?
Yes!
Let's try. The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report. That's not a valid explanation. No. After all, we don't speak English. That report is utter gibberish. This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency. I'm not trying to ridicule anyone, honest. I'm just reading Susato-san's notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You will direct us to the pertinent section, Counsel. Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to this riddle? It's special characteristics, right? Shoot, it's not synopsis. It's one of these two. Oh no! I wish I could go back in time and see it one last time, but I'm gonna say special characteristics. We've been hearing a lot about this cure poison. And it's left me curious about something. Oh, Counsel? Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years, to lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat. Get to the point, please. But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. So, surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison. Good gracious, Counsel, now, no. That would be madness. But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. There we go. Through a wound, you say. I see, that makes sense. Yes, the mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me though. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When cure enters by through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever. What? Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew cure's special characteristics. And you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself. You meddling little rapscallion! Well, Ryunosuke, it turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Really? Me? A lawyer?
Objection!
All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure, but I fail to see how it possibly... So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with, some facts he read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly. What are you trying to say? Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw. Schoolboyish? Flaw? As even your brain has managed to deduce, Curare is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus. Oh, yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers, what are they? So, if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he? Ah, that's right. Good gracious. That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no? She could have dropped it on his open wound. Order, order in court, order. The logic holds, if the lady and professor drank the same poison, they would be affected in the same way. Are you trying to suggest... Yes, this Curare poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial. That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that. I like her hat. What is this welling up inside me? I've never felt like this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey.
Objection!
I don't think so, Miss Josiah Brett. How dare you use that tone with me? You know very well that there is no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you, you must provide compelling evidence. As we now know that this poison is completely harmless when ingested, why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the Curer?
Take that!
Take that! Why are you... I'm sorry, Counsel, but the slipshod manner in which you've tossed that evidence before the court does not inspire confidence. Huh? Listen, Ryunosuke, there's no need to overthink this. We know that Curer's toxic effects only come to play when the poison enters his body via wound. Right, so that can only mean that when Dr. Wilson drank his glass of water, he must have had a wound somewhere that let the poison in. Exactly. So we need some evidence that would prove the professor had a wound inside his mouth. Yeah, that picture. Ah, of course. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you, you must provide compelling evidence. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the Curer? Because it is. He has a wound right there. Come on. Is there... Is this it? Does he have a wound like in his mouth? It's the tooth, right? Is that it? This is clearly a record of some kind of medical treatment. Because I was thinking, right, like, okay, that wound on his wrist, right? That doesn't make sense because he would have fallen after ingesting the poison, and he would have burnt his hand then. So after having the poison, and there's an entry on the day the professor was killed. Extraction with the use of anesthesia. Extraction, so he had a tooth out. Yes, it sounds like just before he went to lunch, Dr. Wilson had to have a decayed tooth removed. They probably used laughing gas so he couldn't feel anything. It's the latest medical advancement in the West. Yes, I've heard people talking about this new idea of anesthetic. It's impossible to imagine not being able to feel pain, though. There's a cautionary note at the end from whoever wrote this. It says, no food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure with anesthesia while anesthesia wears off. I assume that's it, right?
Take that!
Take that! As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference? This is it. This has gotta be it. The toxic effects of Curer are only felt when the poison enters his body through an open wound. So, for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water? Inside? Yes, like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. So that's it. You used that knowledge to orchestrate this. What do you have to say now? Is she laughing? I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are all so puerile. What do you mean? Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough. What is she doing this time? You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it. No. I mean, it could just slip. Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed. No! What is it? What just happened? It's the Englishwoman. She just smashed that bottle. And in the Supreme Court, what a terrible blunder. Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much of the water from that broken bottle as possible, at once. You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you, it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it. How could you? You won't get away with this. You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy, but I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we, if there really was poison in the bottle, or not. And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution? Oh, of course, of course. He's so annoying. You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady. That's right. And really, looking at this photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So, of course, the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy.
Objection!
No, you killed the victim that day, using Kyurare. And then, in order to frame Ryunosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you'd arranged for him to find on the floor, before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor and his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime. What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say, and I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence. Exactly. And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in cold blood by the accused, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Ugh. This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now... Is she really going to get away with it? The way she destroyed that evidence was obscene. Ryunosuke. Yes. We've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it. What? What do you mean? We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true, so if there are any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head. In my head? You told me before that your powers of observation were the only thing you could really depend upon. Well, yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head. So think back again now, try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. What I saw, what I felt. Every color. There it is. Some blood. How would there be a blood spatter if he got shot from that direction? Is Kazuma right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory of this same scene in my head, could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? There's a clue. Why would I say there's nothing? Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. Haha, you always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on then, let's wipe the smug smile off that Englishwoman's face with some evidence. Alright, I can't wait. It's been niggling me for a while that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever it could be, the key to arriving at the truth about all this. It's here somewhere. The clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been is... Why did it, came up a second ago. Well, just present over this.
Take that!
Yeah, let's do it. Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this. Yeah, yes, what is it? He still can't believe that she broke the bottle right in front of him. He's still miles away, probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. Yeah, he is. As you've said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day. Wait a minute. Where are you going with this? Where are you going with this, little boy? It's just a memory that's been troubling me. What memory? I saw the scene shown in its photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was a splattering of blood. What? Oh really? And what of it? Obviously that must have happened when you shot the professor. No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him. Ah! Yes. For blood to have made onto the plate, it implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite to the professor, as you were. Josiah Brett, I beg your pardon? This is beyond ridiculous. Fabricated nonsense. Is the court seriously expected to believe something the accused has apparently just remembered seeing? Inspector? This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to. Inspector, you mean... Yes, I took the plate. In the interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it, meat and all, and I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it. You did what? I took the steak that you had been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the Sergeant had been eating. And I did it all in the name of justice. Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a bloodstain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it, now. Inspector. The court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately. Yes, sir. There it is. Sorry for the delay. Here's what you ordered, the steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it? Of course there isn't. Quickly, Inspector, the blood man, show the court. Of course, examine the plate at your leisure. No blood. No blood anywhere. But no, that's impossible. I know I saw it, I'm sure of it. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate. What an unbecoming expression, little boy. You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what Japanese tell you. I couldn't agree more. in the case of disgrace to the Empire. I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion in this trial. Let's hope so. This let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceedings is painful to watch. But I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over. Ha! Ha! This sorry-looking steak reveals the facts all too clearly. If the sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest. The plate of steak has been entered into the court record. Was the plate I saw, or thought I saw, just a figment of my imagination? This is it now. I've lost. Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. Not until the final gravel. Or gavel, rather. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward, no matter what. Believe in myself? Really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way, I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection? That bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all? No, 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 no! I'm really clutching at straws now. That would fly in the face of common sense. I did not mean to click that. You know, it flies in the face of common sense. That someone like you with no experience as a lawyer could last this long in a trial like this. How did you? Opportunities are always there for the taking, but only for those with determination to grab them. Let's have another good look at that steak. Yes, please. If you want to give up, it had better wait until after that. Maybe I should examine the evidence in more detail. Yes, please. Well, a deafening silence from the defense. I will take that as your final answer on the matter. No. Your Excellency, please wait. This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth. The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beefsteak. Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial. I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled. I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it? Thank you, Your Excellency. Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court to what you are alluding. I only got 2 tries. Where precise on this plate of beefsteak is this new clue to be found? What's going on here? Huh? What in the world is this? I think it's a Koban coin. And the hallmark is from the Hoi era, I believe. No, I don't mean what is it. I mean, what's it doing there? Wait, did you say it was a Hoi Koban? Yes, and apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. This isn't the first time today that there's been talk of a Hoi Koban. I've heard of pearls before swine, but I've never heard of a bullion in bouillon. I don't think you ever will again. This is extraordinary, though. This means... Yeah, present it. Good gracious, that's... Koban? Oh, what on earth? A Hoi era one at that. Miss Brett, this is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant on the day in question, is it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat? What a ridiculous question. How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what this is, but I want no part of it. I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat. That could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in the moment of distraction. Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen? A rare Hoi Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now. He's right. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency. Yes, Counsel. A rare Hoi Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now. By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway. Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is relevant. Even though I'm the one on trial here. The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under that steak. The owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person it can belong to. The owner of the koban that was found underneath beefsteak is... It's him.
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be the antique dealer and owner of Rasute, Kyurio Korikuta-san. Kyuri, as in Mr. Cucumber something. Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable. That's rude. That's extremely rude. Ah, yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with his koban coin when it happened. Exactly the moment the gun was fired. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure. Indeed, the Hoi era koban, my prized coin. Then this Hoi era koban, do you mean to tell me? No, please. Why would Korikuta-san's koban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? It makes no sense. Which is why I'm asking to bring Korikuta-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him. Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here, without a moment's delay. I can't believe we've come back around to that pair again, but I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this koban, we'll find that it's a key element in the case. Phew! So much is happening right now. What's this all about? Why have I been called up again? Well, we'll figure that out next episode. Thanks so much for watching. Please leave a like if you've enjoyed the episode, and subscribe if you would like to see more of my content. I wish you all a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Peace.